Alright, we can start recording. We can we can begin recording. Very well. Um this time also we're going to like I'm sorry, I'm drawing a bit of a blank. But I'm going to actually try recording at a farther distance from the microphone. And even if the game isn't very good right now, the physical game, I can I can uh I am sorry. Amplify amplify the audio signal later on Audacity, but I do wish to use Reaper in the future because I had heard it was recommended by a bunch of people. A bunch of people who really know audio. They tend to really like Reaper. So it's certainly something that I would like to try. And one of the things that I really did not expect when I started doing all of this YouTube, I guess you call it content creation in general, is just how many new things I was going to end up trying. I thought it was going to be just making a few videos a couple times a week and like maybe a few newer editing techniques once in a while, and that will be that more or less, or like a couple of streams once in a while. But it ended up being much more than that, which is funny. As Danshi, I doing the audios always was a very very simple thing. It was always very it wasn't really ever very complicated. There wasn't really as many compromises or as many it did not involve going out of my comfort zone anywhere near as much as um acting as the sketch did, as acting as the illustration did. And that is, I suppose, the main topic of the ramble in today. That I was thinking, and I kept wondering, asking myself, all of this, was it worth it? And if it was worth it, spoiler, the answer is yes. The answer is yes, it was worth it. um, in which ways was it worth it? Because for me, partly as a function of the context I was born in and the life situation that I was born in, as well as partly a result of the particular context of my life right now. It has not really been easy to handle doing content creation and handle all of my other obligations at the same time. To give you an idea, I actually managed to save up money for a graphics card to maybe 3 times in the past year. But every time I was about to buy one, something happened. And I had to help out with that unexpected emergency. Because unfortunately, with some people, I am one of the pretty much only responsible persons in their life, and so I am the one who has to help. That's just how it is in a country with zero safety net. And I did not expect that. I don't know if it is because people assume that most content creators are privileged people, or that it is something that is just going to be expensive, or that, I don't know, that it's kind of assumed that because of the high barrier to entry, like it is just expected that you're going to invest so much. I did not expect that I was going to invest so much time and resources, money on the channel for no return, really. So that's one thing that really surprised me. And if I had only the content creation thing, it will not be anywhere difficult. I had a somewhat dangerous job that I had become decent at, and if I only had to take care of buying, I bought this microphone by myself, for example, of buying my own stuff, then it will not really be difficult at all. And alternatively, if I had to take care of my IRL problems, they will not be quite as difficult, generally speaking. And at the very least, I certainly will have a lot more time and free mental real estate to look for different solutions, and to work more, and to get more resources to deal with the problems. But of course, a big part of it is that in the past year, some people were a never-ending source of problems. Thankfully, many of those problems are actually resolved. So I only had to deal with the aftermath of those problems, which unfortunately I had been left completely alone to handle. And with one really huge problem, one really huge step that I had to take care of alone. So, unfortunately, I was in a position where if I wanted to take care of one thing at a time, I was going to have to put my channel on hold, on pause. And eventually I decided that I just did not want to do that. And so I had to ask myself, what is that castle that shines so brightly in my mind, that makes it so that I want to suffer all the things that I suffer just to make it all work, just to make both of those things work. Because of course, it is not just the main channel with the illustration, and it's kind of, if you know what I mean when I refer to the illustration. It's a lot of other online presence stuff. And but what is it that makes it that it is so important, so precious to you, that you want to go through all the suffering, you go with your ERL problems and with your ERL job, attempting to gather the funds on top of your ERL problems, to just an unused processor, unused CPU. That's the kind of stuff that I can dream about. Other people from other countries, they can generally, in countries that are not a third world suit hole, they can dream about more decent things when they had a part-time job. But because I had a job that doesn't pay even minimum wage, partly because of the extreme stagflation that the country has suffered, I think all countries in Latin America have suffered a great deal of stagflation actually. But no, I think my country in particular don't. Well, other people can dream with obtaining decent components. But in here, because of a combination of many issues, they just all come together to make acquiring tech stuff incredibly difficult. It really feels like we have been left forgotten by the rest of the world. For example, one reason why people say that PayPal doesn't really want to come in our country, essentially they consider it is not worth it. That there are so few people that will even know what a computer is, that they just decide it is not worth the trouble of giving us a service. So just because of that, we are completely disconnected from the from global finances. And of course, there are a lot more things that come into it, but that's one of the suspected reasons. So again, my country is so incredibly excluded from international finance that I don't even know if I'm going to be able, outside of maybe an agency, to get any money from B2B. My job pays so incredibly little that I probably won't be able to afford a good computer in my entire life, more or less, in the next 4 years. And well, a lot of other stuff that I don't want to get into being too negative, I guess. So with all of that on top of me, I decide that I still want to do it. It, in this case, being like some loosely defined career of creation. Why? At its simplest, at the very heart of it, it's because I love it. I had always been a very creative person since I was very young, and I actually find it really fun to be able to come up with new ideas. To come up with some idea for a video, for a stream, for an audio, and to go developing my abilities to eventually make some really incredible stuff. I still get inspired by some of the audios that I heard when I was more into Pillow Talk audio, when I was more part of that community. I remember there was an audio, I think by someone that was like almost an audio engineer or an audio technician or something. I remember that he actually made part of the audio sound like it was underwater, and he made an stereo panning effect with some spiders. It was on the character, the speaker character was like some evil clown magician or something like that, and he made spiders appear and they pan around the stereo field of the audio. It was really cool. And eventually he makes some kind of filtered sound effect of the scene, the area where the speaker and listener are. It gets flooded. Okay. And it was just so incredibly amazing. I also remember a VFE kind of audio that the speaker was confessing his love or something, or was telling his girlfriend, the listener character, how much he loved her or something like that. And then eventually he starts doing some making out songs, and in the background there is his own rendition of La Vie en Rose. on guitar. He was singing and playing on guitar La Bien Rose. It was just so incredibly wonderful. It was just amazing. And of course, I also had like a lot of ideas of things that I want to try and do for karaoke, of mini concerts essentially. I really want them to be like mini concerts with special effects, lighting, movements. I'm actually pretty stoked that I got the OBS move effect. And of course, one of the things that I really wanted to do at the start, and that I didn't really end up finding time of it, it just seems like it doesn't really get much traction, is actually a greater focus on humanities and knowledge and learning and art, and on history as well. I guess it is something that could be unique, and if it is done properly, then maybe it is something that could offer an unique draw. But for example, I wanted to share some of the things that I found so amazing in classical literature, or bits of classical art, architecture, painting, sculpture, etc. More than it is just being just beautiful and having a lot of renown or anything, I believe it is symbolic or representative of the culmination of human achievement in artistic discipline. Because to create something such as la Estatua de la Pietà di Michelangelo Buonarroti, you must absolutely master sculpture. Not just being really good, but to advocate and dedicate your whole life towards the mastery of the subject of sculpture. I guess on some level, maybe a similar thing with the movies of Hayao Miyazaki, don't know. To create something so amazing as The Castle in the Sky, as Porco Rosso, as Spirited Away, etc., one must really give it their absolute all. Making a halfway effort, it's probably just not going to be enough. You must be a genius and you must give it your all. So it is that pinnacle of human achievement that I really wanted to share with people. Beyond anything else, because I think that within every person there is that spark of, at least a little bit of that spark of genius and that spark of great ability, and that it is something that is worth pursuing, and that I hope I can help you to find within yourself. That's mostly what I think. That is one of the two, maybe three biggest reasons why I really wanted to do all this, and why it is so important. The other big reason is, of course, because, like I said, I myself want to... Sorry about that. Because I myself wish to... How to say it? I myself wish to do amazing stuff, I guess. It is something that I myself wish to be part of. Like I mentioned, doing unique karaokes, coming out with unique videos, with unique streams, stuff that I know is going to remember in whichever time is left for me. And to be honest, the more things that I go achieving in that sense, the less afraid I become of, oh man, what if something happens? What if I can no longer do this? What if I lose the ability to do this, etc., etc. Because I become a little more, every step, a little more comforted with the sense that, well, at least I achieved this. Excellent. At least I already got this done. At least I fulfilled this goal. In that way, I consider that I live my life backwards in a sense. What I mean by that? That I had a certain set of objectives and like lifelong objectives. Is this is not a quite good example of a lifelong objective, but for example, doing a karaoke of Idol Master songs, doing a karaoke of Idol songs, to be able to feel like someone that people can really like, I guess. And once I achieve that, then I can feel okay, excellent. No matter whatever might happen in the future, nothing is going to change the fact that on this year, on this month, whatever, I managed to achieve one of my lifelong goals. And that is something that genuinely nothing can take away. Nor inflation, nor global instability, nor poverty, nothing. Nothing can take that away. And partly because of how dangerous my job is. It's not really that dangerous, but well. I feel a certain sense of urgency, of like, I don't know if I'm going to have the time to do all of these things. So that's why I don't want to wait until my ERL issues get resolved to do these things. Mind you, I still had to reduce my activities on some level, though that was really a combination of factors, mainly a kind of restructuring and refocusing on things that will probably be more beneficial long term for my content creation, persona, career, whatever one might want to call it, in light of the current limitations that I currently have. So I don't want to depend just on YouTube or just on Twitch. I did try to have a Patreon-like site. I cannot have Patreon because no PayPal. But I try to have like a couple of Patreon-like sites, a couple of membership sites, and also explore personas in other avenues, or also know how to do commissions. I guess that's just like being a content creator in general. You try to place your apples in many baskets or something. And that's why, for example, I had to reduce my streaming frequency to one stream a week, so I can, for example, really focus on doing non-stream content, on doing membership content, on trying to do commissions, etc. Even this, for example, I am working on this as kind of like the opening to the alternative channel, which is a channel that I want to have where I can feel more free to explore other avenues of creativity and other kinds of, let's say, facets of my personality outside of the VTuber character. Because the VTuber character, I often do try to make it into like a classical VTuber sense. That is to say, like really playing the character. I am not very good at it, to be honest, because that stuff is hard, but I generally try to limit it to the more positive side of things and to kind of play in a character. And on this channel, or like the roommate channel, I guess, then that is more me, if that makes any sense. And I don't know if it was necessarily the best entry to it. I'm actually not sure if, for example, I'm going to do very occasional streams on this channel. Maybe I will even use a kind of mixture of PNG and VTuber, put another kind of VTuber in here. But again, the more appreciated thing about this channel is that I can be more free to be myself. And besides being free to be myself, that I can, for example, more freely talk about more adult kind of topics, or that I can talk more loosely about certain kind of topics that I do not necessarily feel comfortable talking about as the VTuber character. Well, I do hope that this will be the start of something interesting. One little idea that I have been developing, that I have been nursing at the time for a while, is that maybe I can, I don't know if divide the attention will be the right word, but I can annotate or have like a mental schedule. Okay, so yesterday I worked on the VTuber main channel. Today I'm going to work on the secondary channel. Tomorrow I'm going to work on dancey audios. After that I'm going to work on marketing for the main channel. The day after that I'm going to work more on learning a new skill in OBS, etc, etc. And you know, it feels hard, it feels harsh, it is tiring, but when I see some of the music videos by some VTubers, I feel that it is worth it. If I can reach those kind of heights, then all these sacrifices will be worth it. I truly do believe that. I genuinely believe that. Okay, I am most likely going to put some gameplay in the background here so you can listen to it so you can watch the gameplay while you listen to me ramble. As far as audios, to be honest, I am actually a bit unsure of whether to place them on YouTube at all. I'm actually thinking of placing audios on a completely different video hosting site. And I know that is going to be a bit of a drag, but it is just safer that way, I am afraid. YouTube is just too mean with ASMR stuff. Like, maybe I'll actually try to keep a couple ASMR videos on here, but like only the tamest ones. The ones where I can be more free. Those are going to be on another site. For only the people that want to look for them. It would also help with that kind of separation, so to say. Very well. So, the important thing sometimes is just to start, to do the first step. And I hope that this can become a good first step for the secondary channel. Alright. See you, friends. This has been ASMR Ganshi. Aloha, Michi. Aloha. Alright. See you.